Robert drew a black line on the bicycle's tire, then pushed the bike through the sewer, straight to the front of the bank, to record the total number of tire revolutions. Finally, according to quantum mechanics, calculated the distance from the manhole cover to the bank door, and then pretend that the car broke down. Surreptitiously insert a tape measure into the small hole of the manhole cover. This will give you the depth of the sewer from the manhole cover. Now the two right-angled sides of the triangle are known. According to the Pythagorean theorem, it is straightforward to calculate the distance and angle of the sewer to the bank. Jack then deliberately sneaks around the bank. He was soon invited to the interrogation room by the vigilant security guards. On the way there, Jack managed to see the exact location of the vault. Using the data he had obtained earlier, several people began to dig tunnels in the direction of the vault. As the drill was about to penetrate the vault and set off the alarm, the other guys just happened to rush into the bank and rob it head-on. Soon the FBI arrived at the scene. They spent the whole time with the robbers, all kinds of extreme tug. Did not realize that the vault was being robbed by others to paralyze the FBI, to buy more time for their teammates. Every once in a while, they would release a hostage and ask the police to order takeout for them. When they were about to finish, the hydraulic pump suddenly went on strike. Jack saw that the hydraulic pump could not continue to work, immediately alerted his companions to prepare for evacuation. Why didn't they want the money? Instead, they went to break into the safe. It turns out that the leader of this group, Jack, was once a top taekwondo master, but Jack thought he was just a bored man who spent his time. After all, he has no self-esteem in life. This day, Jack was thinking about nothing. Suddenly a cigarette floating in the water aroused his interest. The man followed it all the way, until the cigarette slipped into the sewer. At that moment he looked up at a bank not far away. A bold idea suddenly came to his mind. Then he began to look for the drainage outlet along the street water well cover. Finally, at the moment the man saw the drainage inlet, he figured out his life's self-labeling. Immediately after watching, Jack began to prepare for the event. He first found his brother Adam Smith. Next came the priest and professional thief Tyson. Once the staff was assembled, Jack then began to make preparations. The man and Adam first infiltrated the bank by pretending to be customers. Then they secretly took several pictures of the bank layout through the camera. At this point, the vigilant FBI arrived. Jack was escorted to the bureau. Jack was then subjected to a rigorous interrogation. Jack's quick reaction to pull out the phone memory card so that the FBI did not find evidence. At this time, Jack took the time to leave the police station. He found his own cell phone. In a short distance found his target safe deposit box. The main reason why Jack chose to rob the safe deposit box is the safe deposit box is a private item. The amount of money stored inside is only known to the customer himself. So even if they were caught in the future, the amount of money involved cannot be determined and avoid legal sanctions. And for those customers who were robbed, the bank will fully compensate them for their losses. Tyson here was very confused. He thought Jack had said so many useless things. The problem of how to open the safe was still not solved. After all, the bank had close to 10,000 safes. If you simply rely on forged keys or welding torches and other tools, it would be too late to dismantle a few before the FBI found. And the longer you stay in the bank, the more likely to be caught by the FBI. If Jack can't solve this problem, Tyson will withdraw from the plan. The pressure was on Jack. After a few days of thinking about it, finally came up with a seamless plan. He decided to attack the bank head-on, and then give time to his partners in the shadows. The group felt that the plan worked. They immediately began to prepare. Tyson began learning negotiation skills with the FBI. Adam spent the night developing the latest lock-picking tools. Jack, to improve his judgment, began to do concentration training. A few days passed and the operation began. First, Adam lurked in the sewers waiting for his chance. Jack and the others started to attack from the front door of the bank. 2 years later, the FBI arrived on the scene. Jack felt that the timing was just right, so he followed the original plan. He took the hostages out for a walk. The purpose was to tell the FBI that he was armed, to let them weigh in on the safety of the hostages. And then they threatened the lives of the bank employees, to threaten the security guards to leave the bank, so that they are not responsible for grabbing the weapons. Then the group turned off the cameras. Notify Adam in the sewers. Finally, the men operated the hydraulic pump that Adam had worked on all night. They started to cut the safe. Not surprisingly, a safe was opened in 1 second. Extremely reduced time. On the other side of the doorway, Tyson, because he had learned the skills of negotiating with the police at home, so he was talking back and forth with the FBI expert over the phone. He falsely told the FBI that he was a man who did not want to go back to prison, and wouldn't listen to the FBI. Insist on waiting for high-polar officials to negotiate terms. FBI is very confused at this time, because they knew they could not attack by force. It turns out that just a short time ago, there was a shady incident in a bank robbery case because of the delay in negotiating the terms. Then the impatient FBI launched a strong attack. The end result was, the robbers saw the situation and sent many hostages away to God. This story was a big hit in the news at the time, so now the FBI faced this kind of incident. The feeling inside is unspeakable. The result of the previous hostage deaths caused none of the FBI present to be in favor of the idea of using violence to counter violence. Besides, there were a lot of media watching around. They must give priority to the safety of the hostages. At this point, The negotiator rushed to the chief. But before the chief could say anything, Tyson said straight out, "This is the man who sentenced him to prison." He refused to communicate with him. He wanted to talk to a lawyer. The confused FBI was very confused. They sensed that things were getting very delicate. There was a sense of stalling, so the expert pretended to be a lawyer. He calls Tyson's number, but Tyson said the lawyer was a fake, and then refused to communicate. Now the expert is sure Tyson was stalling for time. Immediately persuaded the chief to order a strong attack. The officer decisively refused, because he wanted to see what? He wanted to see what the robbers could do when all the exits were blocked. At this moment, Jack and the others put all the money and gold bars from the safe into sacks to the sewers on the motorboat. Before leaving, Jack and the others threw all the weapons in a conspicuous place and carefully marked the numbers. Noticing that there was no movement for a long time, the FBI slowly entered the bank. Confused FBI instantly freeze. The weapons used by Jack and his men were all toy guns. On the other side, Jack drove the motorboat to the cover of the well not far away, and at this time above the Smiths successfully met Jack a few people. Then in the FBI strict deployment of the car easily escaped, so the plan came to a successful end. Jack and the others also began to live a low-key life. A few days later, Smith became a wealthy man, began to make the demon because he had a lot of money. He found a lover outside. The angry wife went straight to the police station to reveal. This shocked the FBI for a long time. The case was finally discovered. Several people were quickly arrested and sentenced. 50 years later came the day of Jack's release from prison. Tyson, who was also a partner, came to meet him. Tyson told Jack that after this lesson, and decided to live his life as an honest man. Adam and the others had learned their lesson, decided to work honestly to contribute to society.